let's talk about the foundational recurring revenue model. Well, firstly, most people think recurring revenue is when people have payment plans. And that's not what recurring revenue is, right? If someone needs to pay you 3, but instead they pay you 1 this month and 1 next month and 1 the month after, that's a form of recurring revenue, but it's not consistent and predictable. You can't bank on that. You can't hire based off of that. You can't project based off of that. For me, I have really consistent revenue. Like I'm at just shy of $2 million a year in recurring revenue. I'm 5 years into this, so I know that's like really dependable. I've got very low churn rates, very high level of like consistency with clients. How most people structure their programs is really straightforward. Here is super awesome person coming in for help. They start unhappy. They become happy, right? They pay us money here. And at the end of that, it's like, bye. And then you have to go find another person, right? Super straightforward, not rocket science, but this is how most of us sell our programs. Here is the secret, is that this person comes in here, they're unhappy, they make some progress, but here's what's really important to understand. Every problem solved is a problem created. So we got you all the sales calls that you wanted. Now what's the problem? Oh my gosh, I've got no time for anything else. I'm spending all this time coaching clients and I've got all this time on calls. What do I do? And so now we have another problem to solve. And so what happens is when people work with me, I'm not asking for multiple years of commitment. And in fact, what I did for a long time is I was just asking for 16 weeks. What's the average time you ask people to commit to you? 12 weeks? 6 months?
9 months to a year.
6 months to a year?
6 weeks.
Yeah, 4 to 6 months. Great. So let's just say you have a shorter time commitment, right? 4 months, 3 months, something like that. What's going to happen is throughout this journey, you're going to experience some wins. Fantastic. So exciting. The end, we experience some progress. It's fantastic. We also have some challenges, right? So this is literally all I do. Is in all of my programs, I have coaching, I have content, and I have community. So I have coaching. Now I have 2 offers. I've got a completely group-only offer. So the coaching is group coaching. I have content. That's both a bunch of content that's already existing, plus new content I'm creating. And then we have the community. And we also have like live events and things like that, right? You don't need live events, but that's just what I do. And what happens is, round about here, I ask them a question. And the question is, how are you going? What do you need? What's worked? What hasn't? Where are you at? And then when I understand where they are and where they want to get to at this point, I then say, would you like some help? And this is what it looks like. People come back and some of them say, yes, what would that look like? And you go, great. Well, you can stick around in the community, the coaching program, whatever it might be. We could do another 16 weeks together, another 4 months together, another 3 months together, whatever it might be. In that time, you can be coming to these calls and we can be solving these particular challenges that you're facing, right? Maybe you've got one-to-one, so it's like during our one-to-one sessions, we can be working on, you've solved this, but we need to solve this now, right? So we can work on this particular thing, and then you can also be leveraging the content, and we've also got new content coming that will be specific to some of the challenges that you're facing, because most people's challenges aren't unique snowflakes, right? There's patterns. And you can continue to engage with the community, so as you get stuck, people can support you in this journey of going to whatever this next level is. And a lot of people say yes, right? And so either you're collecting the money up front for these things, which is not really recurring revenue, right? But it's recurring in the sense of if you resell them, that's great. Or it can be weekly or monthly payments, okay? Is this making sense so far? The key to this, another page, is understanding that you need to be thinking bigger about the journey you're taking clients on. Because if you run out of ideas at the end of 16 weeks, there is no hope you will resell them into anything. You're like a magician all out of tricks, right? So the way you want to be thinking about it, this is time and this is progress. These little red dots are milestones that people can experience working with you. So for example, milestone number 1 in my world might be like, get your offer sorted out, right? Milestone number 2, get calls consistently booked. Milestone number 3, let's like build some systems in a funnel so it's consistent and predictable, right? Aligned with the core challenges. And so that might be window of time number 1. This is my initial 16 weeks. But then what I'm doing is I'm identifying the next milestones that if people were going to continue to work with me, we could work through together. So what happens is, instead of having just 16 weeks, this might become 1 year of work that we could do together. Now, if you also understand how most of this works is that some people progress and then regress, right? Some people might have an area where it's working well and an area where it's not working well. So this is how I retain clients for 3 or 4 years at a time, right? Because we're always working on a particular milestone. Like this milestone here might take 6 months because it's around like managing a team. And managing a team is really hard. And so all of a sudden you've expanded from the initial commitment to this massive opportunity as you're just continuing to allow people to see all of the opportunity of what they could do continuing to work with you. And so the thing that I want to reiterate here is this frame that I heard. So let's say you have a 90-day program. You're selling a 1-year vision with a 90-day commitment, meaning there's still that dream outcome connected to the initial commitment. This is where we want you to be at the end of 90 days, but it's also understanding that they understand the journey. People don't leave us for really any other reason other than they've run out of future. The moment they have the sense that either we don't know what they should do or they don't know what they should do, they leave. And so at the end of 8 weeks or 90 days or whatever your commitment is, if we don't have this sense of this is what we can keep working on together, then people won't keep working with you. But right now, my longest commitment for one-to-one is 16 weeks, so it's not that long. But I have a 90% renewal rate from time to time to time, and it's just 16 weeks at a time because we just keep identifying the next big opportunity.
I've never offered like a short term and then brought people on. I just say, look, it's 6 months to a year. Would you think there would be power?
It is so multifaceted, right? And the reason is because people don't just pay in money, they pay in time. So for example, if you took your 2-month program and you charged exactly the same for 12 months, there would be some people who would say no to that because they then have to think about how long, like imagine you're going to a boot camp at a gym. You want to get in shape now. And the person's going, this sounds amazing. For $99, you can have the 90 days. Or you know what, let's do 12 months together. And I think in 12 months, you're going to be in better shape, right? What's more attractive? You go all out and you get the result fast, or there's a sense of uncertainty in the person selling you and they're like, this is probably going to take a while, right? And you're like, that's not very attractive. And so it's not one or the other. Like my community is 1 year, but I have that lead flow where I'm okay with people like who are not ready to make that commitment saying no, totally okay with that. But when I was getting started, having shorter time frames was really crucial to get as many yeses as possible. And then my job was to get them such great results and such great experience, they wanted to continue on.
So when we talk about one offer, because I've got this one offer that I could break it down, but it would mean obviously then I'd have to create a different offer for a shorter period of time.
Yeah, but it's still one offer. This is the beautiful thing, because the content coaching and community doesn't change. Right. But what they're focusing on in that time, like who here has like a lot of things that people could focus on when they come in, but you have to like narrow their focus on something. Does that make sense? Right? So people can come in and if you're a business coach, it's like marketing, sales, delivery, operations, and people come in, they're like, I need leads. You're like, great, marketing playbook, right? And so that's really what we're doing is when we're bringing someone in and they're doing a shorter period and then they go into longer periods, it's not that we have to create different offers or gate content. It's just about focusing. Okay, right now, you are here. So ignore all these ones for now. We will get to them. Can't wait to help you crush it. But for now, this is where the magic is for you, right? And so even in a group program, I would encourage you to have an onboarding call. Because if you can help direct people to where they should go and what they should be focusing on in that time, there'll be a lot of leverage that comes from that because people won't feel lost in the buffet of all of our content and options. We can direct them to exactly what it is they need.
You're saying you have a whole library of stuff, and when somebody is onboarded, you just direct them to the area that's their
Well, and because the real key to understanding this is we're assuming this journey is linear. But who here has had a client that comes in, they're like, here. Yeah. And you're like, what do I do with this person? I'm like, and so like this is KBA. This is how the levels exist, right? You're at a certain revenue level. you're at level 2, right? You're at level 4. And so you want to be thinking about it like a buffet, just not in an overwhelming sense for the consumer, but more like you're asking at the start, like, what do you like? What do you really like? Like, are you like spicy food? You know? And then you go to the buffet and then you pull the food that's going to be most applicable to them. Like, the simplest explanation of this is you want to create more things to work on beyond the initial commitment. And if people can see that staying with you is going to be better for them than leaving, they'll stay with you. Okay?